Well, what's up, everybody? Welcome to season 3 of the Dharius Daniels Podcast, Conversations for Your Transformation. I'm so excited about season 3. We came back bigger. We're coming back better. Got my amazing co-hosts. We didn't get canceled last season. Dacari and Chasity with me. And we decided, as we do each season, to make some tweaks and adjustments that we believe going to take this podcast to the next level. So this year we've got more content, less guests. I'm going to be talking a little bit more about things that I'm passionate about, that you're passionate about, and we're going to interweave some amazing guests that we believe are going to add some value also. Man, I cannot wait to see the impact of this season. I want you to buckle up, get ready for episode 1, season 3 of the Dharius Daniels Podcast. Well, what's up, everybody? I want to welcome you to episode 1 of season 3 of the Dharius Daniels Podcast. I got Dacari and Chasity with me. Listen, we've had a long break since season 2. This is weird. We both laughing because before I did this introduction, Dacari just told me I smell good. I didn't know how to take that.
Oh my God.
So,
actually,
no, tell the people what you asked me.
I said, do you have on bun number 9? I wanted to know if that was the
cologne.
Do
you have on cologne?
Yes, I have on cologne.
And then he went very elitist on me.
No.
Actually, I'm wearing some more. It's like, okay.
Actually, I was kind of thrown off because I've never heard of, hey.
But he did say, to his point, he did say, I ain't no funny stuff.
I ain't no funny stuff in that, man. I ain't, kind of put it on,
You just giving a compliment. And I think that's good, Dacari, because we don't hear enough of that in the male community.
I think we're all right. I think we're good.
Men giving each other compliments.
I mean, you're not going to walk up to...
You don't want to overdo it, but...
It's like...
we can normalize it.
What's up, bro? You know what I'm saying? Smelling good today.
No, you don't want to say it like that.
Listen, how do you tell a guy, I like your cologne? Hey, I like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got, like, how you do it? You got to be
I don't think there is a right way to say it. I think it's just like, whatever works for your personality.
But, somebody else, see what happened. I told my...
Well, yeah, it's kind of weird. I felt weird.
Really?
If you'd have been like, yeah, I like your, I don't know, necklace or bracelet. Yo, the bracelet is nice. Like, it was just like a random, are you wearing bun number 9?
I mean, I like that because I want to know where you got it from. I've been looking for some of it.
Okay.
Actually,
that's right.
That's better. I mean, I'm with that's better than you smell good.
I did say you
that would have been
good.
A little.
You know what? Let's just leave it alone.
Let's just start the episode. Let's go.
I won't even talk about your cologne.
Don't give him no more compliments.
It's been what? It's been 3 months since season 2. So
yes, it has.
It's good to see y'all again. Good to be back on the air. Did y'all miss it?
I did.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, you say something else.
No, I was thinking, can I get my point out?
I did. You know what I'm saying?
I was trying to get my point out. But yeah, I missed it because I see this as like an outlet. I think we all do so much. And so to come here and to have conversations with you guys, it's really cool. So yeah, I missed it.
So what did y'all do during the break?
What's that wolf mean, Dacari?
Well, no, I thought you was going to go first because, I kind of saw what you were doing.
Yeah, everybody saw what you were doing. You had a good break.
What does that mean?
It means you made sure we all
It's probably
saw.
on the archives and Instagram, so you can always reshare them,
I went on vacation.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a really great time.
Awesome.
Amen.
Tell us more.
It was really fun. I've always wanted to go. I went to Turks and Caicos. Well, when we went there, they said it's Turks and Caicos. So I had a really great time. I done some things that I've never done before. Like parasailing. That was my first time doing that. I've been on a jet ski before.
Oh yeah.
But I did jet skis and I went on an ATV, but I had a little accident on the ATV and I got hurt really bad. So let me tell y'all the story.
Okay.
So we go on this dirt road, right? So there's like this tour guide that's leading you on this road or whatever, and you're driving alongside of the beach. So I don't know what happened because I vaguely remember it because I really had an accident. I don't know if I was trying to like swerve and not hit a rock or if I hit the rock. It was either one of those. Either way, I don't know if you've ever like rode an ATV. Have you guys ever rode an ATV?
No.
No,
I wasn't the driver. I was younger.
Okay, so like the handlebars are kind of stiff. So it's like when you turn it, it doesn't just like turn like a steering wheel to a car. So I think and it was a stick shift. So I was trying to grab the brake and turn at the same time. And I missed grabbing the brake. And when I turned, like it just went into the bushes and I fell off of it and then it fell on me.
What?
Yeah. And it was like gas leaking on me and everything. Why are you smiling?
I feel so bad that I'm smiling.
Is that funny?
I feel so bad. Wait a minute. This is I'm sorry. That's wrong. But I'm sorry. I'm so glad you're okay. But no, it's the way my brain works. There are images with words for me. So it's like there are certain things. It's like you said that I saw you go into the bushes.
So you're laughing at me going into the bushes?
No, I'm laughing at me. I was like, I can't believe I'm sitting here visualizing this, but I'm seeing you run into the bushes.
Yeah, it happened so fast. So I'm wondering, it's funny now, but it wasn't funny in the moment.
So how did the ATV stand up? Like, were you looking at it coming down on you? Was it in slow motion?
I just felt it. I literally just felt it. And I was like, oh my God. And then the gas was pouring on me. So I was like, oh, I got to get out of here because the only thing I'm thinking like,
fire.
Yeah. So I was like stuck and I was like, oh, I got to go. And I ran up to the other side of the road and then nobody was there because of how we were driving. Like the tour guide would look back every now and then. And I guess by the time he looked back and he saw that there was not, however many it was of us, he was missing one. So he was the first one that came back. And then the other two came back.
Like a biblical story, the one that had to come back again.
But yeah, it's funny now. But in that moment, it was not funny because I was really, really hurt.
I want to go on record. I'm not laughing about her accident.
And I hope y'all aren't laughing either.
I was laughing at the way I'm visualizing her going into these bushes.
But you know what's the really crazy thing is because once I realized like, oh, okay, I'm okay. Because I really didn't feel the pain until the next day. I got right back on the ATV and kept going.
Wow.
Yeah, that's not me. I'm not adventurous like that.
You're not?
No. Not
Dacari,
at all.
are you adventurous? Have you ever done anything?
I am, but I do want to ask you this.
What?
So when did you take all these pictures? Was it before the accident or after the accident?
What pictures are you talking about?
You were posting every day. I would have known you were in an accident. I was trying to figure out, did you cover the scars or what? Scars.
So most of those photos that I took, it was before it because we went on the ATVs like the day before we left.
Oh, okay.
So yeah.
But yeah, I am
posted.
Did you like my photos?
I did. I double tap.
Okay. Okay. Just trying to see if you were being a friend.
Yeah.
And I have heard so much about my photos, and I'm like, y'all don't go on vacation?
No, I didn't actually.
Oh, but y'all take vacations, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have an independent.
Well, I'm sorry, y'all's life is not as exciting.
I'm socially distancing. I'm wearing my mask.
Two of them.
Hey, watch us get some political emails.
Well, we wore a mask.
It's telling us
but
that constitutionally I'm not obligated to wear my mask.
Right.
Yeah,
it's like, bro, just let me wear my mask and leave me alone.
Yeah.
Constitutionally,
right,
bro, I just want to wear my mask, okay?
Yes.
Leave me alone and let me wear my mask.
Yes, but overall, it was cool.
Yeah, but yeah, man, I mean, that's good. You had a great time. Yeah, I am adventurous. I think you asked.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've done a couple of things. I jumped out of my airplane twice.
Oh, wow. You're adventurous.
Yeah, well, one was for my birthday. I wanted to celebrate one year. I always said I wanted to do it. And I think what it was, I saw Will Smith on his 50th. He went and did the...
that was dope.
And I was listening to him talking. I was like, you know what? I'm going to do something crazy like that. And I did.
How was it?
The first time, it was really good. It was... second time, I almost passed out.
Wait, how? Wait.
Because let me tell you, I don't like the parasailing part. So like, I like the rush. Yeah. You jump out of the plane, but then I'm like, I actually told the guy, I said, yo, get me to the ground, bro. I'm like, I've done it once. He was like, you don't want to see the clouds? I said, nah, I see that plane. How do you duck and dodge this? But so.
Man, I just feel like these past 3 months for me have been so uninteresting.
Well, wait,
based off of what I mean, you going to islands and you running in the bushes with 4-wheelers, and then you drop it in the car. I heard that story about the airplane before, and you gave the people the safe version of it.
Well,
you didn't talk about the second time. Your fiance's mom
Yeah. Well,
Actually,
they wanted to go. I didn't want to. I was going with them.
You were afraid to do it again. Come on, just
I
say
wasn't
it.
afraid. I just didn't want to.
It's okay. It's okay, bro. It's okay.
No, I didn't want to. I didn't want to. You know what it is? It's actually being on that small plane and going. You can feel everything. You know, like when I hate turbulence on a big plane, but it's like this real small plane. It's like the Jetsons, right? You literally sitting on the plane, it's just rocking, going up to like 20,000, 25,000 feet. And they're like, all right, let's jump. And then you literally watching people say, they jumping out like it's crazy. And I'm like, who's next? Like, you.
Well, let me ask you this, PD. What's the most adventurous thing you've ever done?
Yeah.
Let's see.
The fact that you have to think about it.
I'm trying to think. I might have, I cliff jumped before.
It's cliff jumping.
Yeah, what's that?
Yeah, so I'm trying to remember where I was. So,
what is it called?
We jumped off. It's like a mini cliff. It wasn't like the Grand Canyon or anything, but it's not a cliff. But y'all understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can't remember where we was. We were in some country and we were cliff jumping or whatever. So I jumped off the cliff into the water. That's probably the most.
Into the water?
Into the water, yeah.
Kind of how it's like in Jamaica.
They don't call it water. There's a word that they call it. It's not like a pool or a spring.
Yeah.
But it's some different term that they use to describe it. I think they have
something like that in Jamaica.
They do.
Where you can go up to like this whatever and you can drop off the cliff into the...
Yeah, I think it actually was Jamaica. We did something like that. Yeah. I did like the Dunn's River Fall thing in Jamaica. That's not really...
I did Dunn's River Fall.
It's not really adventurous. But yeah, the cliff jumping thing, that was a lot for me. I don't ride horses. A horse paralyzed Superman. I don't ride horses. I'm not jumping out of airplanes. I'm not doing it.
So what do you do to keep you?
I don't know. Y'all just paint me. Y'all paint this picture of me. I'm feeling insecure right now. Like,
why?
I'm insecure.
Don't feel insecure.
I'm fine. Trust me.
If the most adventurous thing you've done is probate, it's okay. You know what I mean? That's what, I get it. You know what I'm saying? Like, salute to the
If you know, you know. If you know, you know.
Nah, that's funny.
My past 3 months though, it was I didn't do anything like vacations, anything like that. It was just a lot of, I think the end of the year and the beginning of the year is just like a really hectic time for me. So some of the people who follow us know I launched something in late fall called EDS, which is like an online I think self-education is kind of the wave of the future.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
So I launched this online platform called EDS, which stands for Everyday Seminary. So it was crazy. We had over 3,000 people that were part of that. Oh, wow. And but that was a lot comes with that, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it was that and just several things that just kind of happened at the end of the year and the beginning of the year. So I'm super regimented and strategic and disciplined and normally, but I just felt like, I don't know, it was just kind of the perfect storm of it was great things that were happening, but it just really, I think created more demand on my mind, like mental real estate, time, etc. So I don't know. I just feel like recently, the past, few weeks or so, I've just been trying to recalibrate and get a new order and a new rhythm.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to talk a little bit about that in our conversation today. And that's kind of the other side of what we would call success.
Yeah.
That people really don't talk about, that you need to be prepared for. Because watch this. Part of being successful is managing success well.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Because this is what's hard. Like success is hard. That's why most people say, so many people that are successful, they're successful at a certain thing.
Yeah.
But it's hard to be successful at being successful.
Absolutely.
Whatever that means.
Yeah, that's good. I get it.
This is getting ready to be good. So I'm excited.
And I'm excited about it too. I think, let's get ready to jump into that conversation. Our listeners asked that we talk more during this season. So like we said earlier, we got fewer guests. And I'm the guest on this episode today. We're going to have this conversation about the scars from success. That's coming up next on the Dharius Daniels Podcast. Well, man, I'm super excited to have this conversation, man, surrounding this subject of success, actually the scars from success. And I think a great place to start is for me to at least give my definition of success, which first of all, I want to say, I think success is appropriate.
Yes.
I think the opposite of success is failure. And I would say that failure doesn't describe God's desire for anybody's life. All right. So this is what when I say success, though, this is what I mean. I mean, maximizing your potential in the area of your character and your competence. To me, that's success.
Okay.
Maximizing your potential in the areas of your character, that's who you become. I think that's super important. But also your competence. That's what you do, the value that you bring to the world. And I think doing both of those things well, that's success. The issue is when you do it well, it's going to create some scars. And I think that's the part that's not often talked about.
Yeah. I think a lot of us, and I'm glad we're talking about this today. Let's tell you, so I went out maybe about 2 weeks ago, had on my mask, two masks.
Did you have like the shield over it too?
I'm not doing this shit. Matter of fact, somebody wants me to do something with them next week, and they was like, "Are you open to wearing the shield?" I'm like, "No."
I don't want to look like Iron Man.
Yeah, I'm not
No.
You be looking like Tony Stark.
Got me over here.
And then they wear the mask under it too.
Yeah, like it's weird, but anyway, I'm out with some high school friends, and we're sitting down, and they said to me, you know what? We always wondered how you got to Morehouse. I said, we remember how we all ran together in the same vein, but we didn't get into the school. And one of them said, I was jealous of you.
Oh, wow.
When you talk about scars, I'm sitting here thinking, but did they not know I was actually rejected?
Sure.
I was just persistent and getting in.
Yeah.
Have you had moments, right, in your own personal life where you can say, all right, I have scars that people don't know about, but when they see this success, they say it was easy for them.
So the answer to that is yes. I think the question is how many of these scars we want to talk about.
All of them. We got time today.
Yeah.
We got time today.
Yeah. I think that's the issue. So yeah, I think your example it's the first example that comes to mind with me. I think this isn't going to be everybody's story. Everybody isn't going to have the same scars. Everybody's going to have some scars though.
Yes.
Right? It's this. So I think the first example is like relational scars. So that will be things that people probably wouldn't know. I don't know if a lot of people talk about that, right? So this is what I mean. I feel like the price of growth is being misunderstood.
Okay.
Yeah, unpack that a little bit.
Yeah, the price of growth. So relationally, when you grow and things in your life have to change because of the person you become or the demand that's on your life now, very often people can misinterpret that
Yeah, that's
as
good.
you feeling differently about yourself or differently about them. You know what I mean? Where it's almost like, oh, you think you're this now.
Yeah.
So that's why you don't do these things with me anymore. And it's like, no, I just grew, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe I grew as a person. Maybe I grew in influence. Maybe I grew in responsibility. And as a result of that, I don't have as much discretionary time. And it means that I can't do some of the things that I used to do. So I dealt with that. I have dealt with that relationally in friendships where there was a way I was able to manage a friendship, like for some friendships in a previous season where I was able to attend certain events, where I was able to participate in certain activities when things just got different. Like when I grew as a person and I didn't have that same interest, or when my responsibility grew and I didn't have that same time.
Yes.
I'm not going to say I've lost relationships completely, but I have lost certain types of relationships. Meaning there still might be a relationship there. It's just not what it used to be because I feel like some people are determined to misinterpret your growth.
Yeah, and I think sometimes people just don't understand. It's like they don't understand because of their limited perspective on what it takes to get to where you're going. And so some people will see that as it's like, oh, you acting different now. Like, culture, you're acting different now. And it's like, no, I'm just growing. That's all.
And it's crazy because the truth is, I really believe this. I think that a lot of times we don't even know it's happening. Like you know where you want to go, but you don't actually see the change or the transformation happening. They see it often before you. And now when it's reflected on you, it's like, am I? And so you start questioning if your growth is real, if this success you're desiring or you're going after, if it makes sense for your present, your present day. Like, I'm just wondering, like, where's this bottom line, I guess, where it's okay for me to thrive without the pressure of friendships and relationships falling.
So I think it's okay to desire that. Yeah. But with us really centering this conversation around the scars of success, I really think it's important to talk about, okay, what's the ideal and what's the real? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the ideal is everybody in my friendship circle and my family circle is happy for me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody in my friendship circle and family circle is rooting for me.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody in my friendship circle and family circle is supporting me.
Yeah.
And everybody in my friendship circle and family circle is understanding of me.
Mm-hmm.
That's ideal. That's not real. I don't even think the Bible paints a picture of that Jesus, who does everything perfectly, is misunderstood.
Yeah.
His confidence is misinterpreted as arrogance. And so that's ideal. Here's the real. The real is sometimes your growth is somebody else's trigger.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I mean, come on. There are people like we might have went to high school with or college with or whatever. And the trajectory of one life goes in one direction, the trajectory of one life goes another. And, sometimes people are like, man, how's this
possible for you?
Like your friend saying, how'd you get in the Morehouse? And so I feel like, ideally, yes, we would want that to happen. Realistically, no. So I think what's important, and that's a scar. If you love people and you misunderstood, or if you feel like you're attacked or insulted by people you love, that's a scar.
A wound.
That's a wound. It's going to hurt.
Yeah.
And then sometimes, no matter how much you explain or attempt to be accommodating or whatever, sometimes they can't get it. I think there are certain things some people just can't understand. So that's ideal. I just don't think it's real. Realistically, if somebody's experiencing that kind of support from everybody in their friendship and family circle, that's an anomaly. Yeah. So you need to be grateful for that. That's not going to be everybody's reality. That rejection is going to create a scar, and you've got to learn how to manage that tension and navigate those potential landmines. Because here it is. In life, you got to choose your hard.
Yeah.
Life is hard. You have to choose your hard.
Mm-hmm.
And so I can choose the hard of growth, or which may strain, I'm going to say expose some relationships.
Yeah.
I don't think which exposes some relationships, or I can choose the heart of stagnation. And I think when God's given you a dream, when God's given you potential and capability, you got an obligation to try to maximize that.
Wow, especially when it comes to your purpose, right? Because when we talk about success, you identify with your purposes and what you're trying to do. And I think and I don't know why we're here relationally, but it just goes back to saying it's like people can be on the same level as you in the same playing field. And it's like, I want you to do good, but I just don't want you to do better than me.
Yeah.
And it's like, but I thought we was, nah, we in the same building, but we just got different views. That's what it is.
Is that a rap lyric?
Yes, it is.
But you made me think of it. Actually, you said it right. It made me think about Jay-Z's lyrics when Jay-Z said, he said, people said, man, you've changed. And Jay came back and said, but did I work this hard to stay the same?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm grinding to get to a certain place.
Mm-hmm.
Do you believe that pain is a prerequisite for success?
I do.
Wow, you got to talk about that. I don't like it. I don't like it.
100%. Everything costs. Everything costs. Now, the currency that you use to pay the price is different. So some things cost the currency of time, and you got to be willing to pay that price. Some things cost of currency of money. You got to be able to pay that, be willing to pay that price. So when I say pain, I don't mean trauma. You know what I mean? I don't think that you got to go through trauma to experience success, which is maximizing your potential in area, your character, your competence. I don't think that. But I do feel like it's that John Maxwell law of sacrifice. Some stuff you got to give up to go up. And giving up some stuff hurts. Yeah. It's pain. But it goes back to what I said earlier, it's choosing your heart. Do I want the pain of keeping this and staying the same? Or am I willing to deal with the pain of giving this up so that in the future, right, I give this up and I feel pain temporarily so I can feel pleasure long term. Yeah. When it comes to me maximizing my potential and things of that nature. And I think, I'm going to tell y'all something. This is going to sound like super, I don't know, optimistic or whatever. I believe everybody has a degree of genius in them.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I agree. Me too. Yeah.
That genius exists in different areas, but I believe everybody has a degree of genius in them. I also believe, though, one of the reasons that genius is not realized is because people don't understand the price you have to pay to unlock it.
Yeah. Yeah, you gotta say more about that.
Yeah, that's so good.
All genius is potential, right? That needs to be unearthed, excavated, developed, etc. And so, like, we were just having a conversation prior to this podcast. I was talking to some guys, and I was talking about, the difference between good and great at something is skill. Like, you can take a basketball player, they can be tall, fast, athletic, and they can be good because of that.
They don't have the skill.
But the difference between the good and the greats is they've taken that natural ability that they got, that's only a gift from God, and then they put in the work. They paid the price of time. So when everybody else is going out doing whatever, they in the gym. Yeah. When everybody else is doing whatever, they getting up shots. When everybody's using their free time to do whatever, they're putting the work in. And so I kind of feel like that is something it's unfortunate, but the truth of the matter is there's a degree of genius that's not unlocked because people, using basketball analogy, don't understand the importance of getting shots up. Especially now, like in the social media age, it's like all the energy is invested on the brand, the marketing, the imagery. And I'm sitting here saying, that's important, but you still need to be good.
Yeah, you got to be good.
And you got to put in the work to be good. Yeah. And that costs, man. It costs recreation. Some recreational stuff you got to give up. Sometimes it costs you some habits that you like, wasting time and things of that particular nature. But yeah, man, to give up, to go up, you got to give up.
And I think it's because they don't market work. People don't market work. You don't brand work, you brand results. Yeah. Like, it's like, strong. I'm going after this. Like, let's market this. This looks pretty aesthetically. And it's like, no, you got to put in some hard labor. It's like, you got to grind. It costs grind. It costs grit. And I know for me, when I started like my first business years ago, I was a new mother. I was a new mother of a newborn. And I was like, I want something that I've never had before. And I know in order for me to do it, I'm going to have to do some things that I've never done. But it's like, it has to be in you. And that's the thing. People want other people's success, but it's like, not saying, please don't cancel me, y'all. Not saying that you won't ever get here. But it's like, you don't have what it takes.
Or you won't
the work ethic.
Or you won't do what it takes.
Yeah.
Or you won't do what it takes. Yeah. But I mean, it's that's one of those things. So I think, Dacari, I know you don't like that, but yeah, there is a degree of sacrifice.
I think the thing is, I think people, and I really, if our audience, they're listening and they're really tuned in, I really want to ask this. Do people, I guess I want to ask this.
Are you trying not to get canceled?
No. Okay. You already done that part. I ain't gonna say that controversial. I really want to, because can you give up the wrong thing?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
absolutely.
Sometimes we think we have to give, like, I've seen this happen. No lie.
Yeah.
Imagine this. I'm telling you, I had a friend once who they became saved, right? And all of a sudden, because they were saved, they stopped associating with us. Like, literally, like, I got to be locked in with church. I got to be X, Y, and Z. I can't do this with you no more. I'm saying, yo, that doesn't mean like you gave this up, and now to this day, we're not cool.
Yeah.
But now they back doing what they were doing. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I just think they didn't want to be your friend.
Yeah.
anymore.
but my point is, they thought they had to get this
They
up.
thought they
that's a great example.
Because they were chasing this successful Christian life,
Yeah.
and they realized that you still don't experience the same things,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
How do you help people navigate through that piece?
Yeah, well, I think you got two potential scenarios with that. So let's say if a person, I know we aren't talking about this, but let's say a person's new to their faith and they feel like, okay, I kind of need to isolate myself for a season to establish myself.
Yeah.
I kind of respect that, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, if they're condemning other people like, you
That's
heathens.
not cool. That's not cool.
You heathens. I got to get away from you heathens. That's different than, yo, this is new for me.
Yeah.
I feel like my faith is fragile right now. I want to pivot hard in a different direction. So I need to kind of separate myself for a season to be able to do that. Or I might need to separate myself, period. I think that is completely different than, great point, but I think it's completely different than a situation where a person is sacrificing something that shouldn't be sacrificed and doesn't have to be sacrificed
Yeah.
for you to be successful.
Yeah.
I think that's the key. I've walked through that in my own life. I've seen countless people in my line of work walk through that also. It's not just sacrifice, man. It's strategic sacrifice.
Yeah.
You know, like, so I don't agree that you got to destroy your body to win. I know that's a cultural norm. Like, I'll sleep when I'm dead.
Yeah.
I'm like, you're going to be dead quicker.
Yeah.
if you don't
Right.
get
If
sleep.
you don't get sleep.
Yeah, it's facts, right?
Yeah.
And so that's something I don't think you have to sacrifice. I don't think you have to sacrifice parental responsibility, marital responsibility. And that's something I'm speaking from experience. Many people have heard my story about how there was a 3-year period with my youngest son where I was present, but I wasn't present. So by that, I mean, I was so invested in other things that had so much stuff going on. Physically, I was checking off the list, but emotionally, I didn't have the energy to actually engage.
Oh, wow.
And so I'm at games, but I'm like texting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And when he was talking, I was listening, but I wasn't, because I was always doing something. And so what I want to do is, like, I'm telling people, you don't have to. I made that mistake for 3 years. Thankfully, I was able to catch it after 3 years. But you don't have to go down that path to maximize your potential and your character and your competence. And if you do, you're going to be satisfied with the success anyway.
And I think that's where a lot of people kind of get it confused, is that because they don't know how to identify or prioritize what is it that I have to give up. So just practically, what are some things that you think people can do to identify, like, what do I need to give up to be successful?
Yeah. Now, some of these, I'm about to give you some, but some of these, they create scars.
Yeah.
All right. Right? Okay. One thing is, you have to give up relationships that you feel like trigger regression. There are some relationships that are, people they like trigger relationships.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, okay, when I get around this person, it might trigger something in you that you want to stay buried and under control.
Right.
And it might trigger mediocrity. It might trigger wasting time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I feel like that's one of the things that people really don't kind of think about. It's going to be tough for some people to hear. There's some recreation you have to give up.
Dacari doesn't want to do that.
Yeah, I'm not saying all recreation, but it's like, if a person, it's going to be incredibly difficult to become amazing at any skill.
Yeah.
If you're using all your free time doing recreational stuff.
Yeah.
Now, I play video games, I wish I was playing them right now.
Yeah.
So I play video games and whatever. So I believe in that, but there's no way you become great at something without being willing to use your free time in a way where you're investing it and not just enjoying it.
Yeah.
That's so good.
Yeah.
Right there.
And my thing is, if you're willing to invest it for a season, you can enjoy it for a lifetime. You get to control your schedule and pick what you want to do. And if you want to go to Turks and Caicos,
like Chasity.
You flip over. Whatever you want to do. I'm a little gassy,
Really, Dacari? Okay.
Dacari, you said something about that offline. It was mean, but it was really funny. It was. I didn't think about that. About you smell like gas.
She was smelling like gas. Walking around, people smelling like
premium
diesel.
What is it?
Is that Chasity Miss Diesel over there?
Miss Diesel, how strong?
I see you over there.
Be quiet.
Take the socks with gas on them.
Man,
Oh gosh,
that's interesting. But yeah, so I think there's some relationships, there's some recreation you got to give up, and then the third thing I'll say is there's some resources you got to give up.
Really?
I'm amazed at how many people.
What's
Kind of
that?
resource.
Like, what? Huh?
Money.
Oh, money.
Yep, money. I feel like I'm amazed at our tendency to invest like in clothes, but not in ourselves.
Oh well, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like the difference.
Yeah.
I think I mentioned this earlier. Difference between good and great is skill,
Yeah.
and that requires an investment.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like to learn the thing. And now with the self-education industry, what?
Mm-hmm.
You can learn things that you need to know to perfect the skill at your own pace from the comfort of your own home. But it does require an investment. And like, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
You know, because I feel like it trains you on how to value what's actually valuable,
Mm-hmm.
you know, in your life. And so, yeah, there's some scars with that. I remember when I was at seminary, when I made the decision not to go to law school, but to go to seminary. Rough. I moved from Mississippi to New Jersey. Something happened with my housing, so I had to go to a dorm. And I was married.
Oh.
Uh-huh.
So I had to go to a dorm room. So my wife was coming later, but something happened with our housing. So I was in Alexander Hall, Princeton Theological Seminary, and we had no air.
Oh wow.
I wonder if they got air in Alexander right now. But there was no air.
That's
Yo,
crazy.
yes. So I'm there
At Princeton, no
at
air.
Princeton. No
Married.
job. Princeton Seminary. Listen, no job. I'm in seminary. My in-laws. So my uncle buys me a car. My uncle was an entrepreneur. He bought me a car. So
Mhm.
that's how I was able to get around, a truck. My in-laws helped move me to New Jersey. So I'm there in the end of summer, at the end of summer, going into the fall. Then it gets cold. I'm from Mississippi. I don't have any
Coats,
coats or anything like that. Couldn't afford one.
sweater.
I was interning at this church in the inner city in Trenton. And I was an old deacon. He's in heaven now. He became a friend of my family, who one day, in the most honoring way, he didn't even make me feel like charity. He was like, "What you doing tomorrow evening?" I was like, "Nothing." He says, "I want you to meet me at Burlington Coat Factory. I'm gonna get you a coat."
Wow.
That was lit. That's how I got my first coat.
Wow.
My first son, Seth, had government milk, welfare. There's a mission, a local mission that our church support, several, but there's one not too far from my church that we support now. That's where we got our furniture from. My kitchen table was a card table you play cards on, from Walmart.
Wow.
That's what we ate Easter dinner on.
Mm-hmm.
It costs.
Yeah.
You know, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And so I'm not saying that's going to be everybody's story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But man, I can't even tell you as a husband, like the way I felt with that,
Yeah.
I felt so less than. I felt embarrassed that my in-laws had to move me. So I done married your daughter
Yeah.
and you got to pay my cell phone bill. Bro,
Yeah.
I was so all because I felt like God telling me to go.
Yeah.
God, that sounds so sacrilegious. It's just all that because I feel like God's telling me to like follow this dream.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I was so embarrassed, man.
Yeah.
And then my wife eventually has to, because 911 happened the year I started seminary.
Okay.
My wife has to leave her job and she's up there with me. She left a condo on the golf course in Biloxi, Mississippi, because she's a software engineer by trade.
Mm-hmm.
So she had a great job working at the Stennis Space Center in like Bay St. Louis, Mississippi. So she has this condo on the golf course. She leaves and comes up and gets on welfare with me. She'd never been on welfare in her life. So people might see whatever they think in this season, but don't know
the scars you had to endure to get there.
Man.
Yeah.
Like I still feel that. Like to talk about that, like I feel the emotions, the embarrassment.
Yeah.
The embarrassment. Like New Jersey had this work requirement for food stamps. So because I was a full-time student, I couldn't get the food stamps.
Mm-hmm.
Because I couldn't read the work requirement.
Yeah, that's how it is in college.
Oh, it is?
In different places.
So I couldn't so my wife was at the apartment at that time. And I remember going in, getting rejected, sitting back in my truck crying before I went home. Because I had to go home and say, we can't even get food stamps.
Mm-hmm.
All because I'm trying to follow God and chase this dream.
Yeah.
But I don't want people to feel like this is being ostentatious or arrogant. But if you believe God put something in you, it's okay to bet on you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bet on you.
I bet on me.
I bet on me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so it wasn't I was just confident in me. I was confident in what I felt like he put in me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I knew I had other options. So if I'm chasing this dream, this must be a God dream for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it cost. It was rough. It was tough, but it was worth it.
Mm-hmm.
So do I want to go through that again? No. Do I hope anybody has to go through that? No. But if not going through that means that I wouldn't learn what I've learned or become who I became as a result of that, then I got to do it all over again.
Yeah.
I would do it all over again if I had to.
All over again.
Yeah.
I had to. No doubt, no question, no hesitation. The stuff I learned, like the way Princeton shaped me and shaped my mind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
100%. I don't even think I would be here doing this podcast if it wasn't for that. I think Princeton trains, I don't know how good they are at training practitioners. They train thought leaders though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And God knew I needed that experience. It cost though.
Woo.
Yeah.
That's
I
good
tell
there.
you what, Princeton did train because you ain't had no air and we ain't got no air up here. So, you know, right. They
So
showed
they trained him to work
they trained to work in
these conditions. We've been sweating. We emotional.
because you decided not to be Matlock. We're going to be Reverend Ike.
And this is the scars of our success right now of being a part of this Dharius Daniels podcast. And we don't have no air. Shoot.
Yeah, you supposed to be Matlock. You should have been. Real?
That's right. See, some of them don't understand what you're talking about
Yeah,
because I was going to law school, everybody. That's why he said I should have been
Matlock.
You
Matlock.
said it though.
Yeah.
You said it.
Oh, I did say that?
You did say
Okay,
it.
great. Matlock.
Wow. Wow.
Incredible. But hey, success has scars. But if you sacrifice the right thing, then it's worth it. It's strategic sacrifice, man. So I hope this added value to people's life. I want to talk about success from an angle I feel like it's just not talked about a lot. And those are the things that I feel like people kind of need to be prepared for. There's some relational dynamics you got to be prepared to deal with, some recreational dynamics and some dynamics.
And you got to be willing
resources.
to bet on yourself.
I like that. That
was
was
it right there.
Oh, yeah.
Bet on
bet
yourself. It's like,
100%.
don't expect anyone else to see inside of you what's inside you. You bet on yourself.
1,000%. Well, man, listen, thank y'all so much for participating in this conversation. And man, I'm excited about just hopefully like the feedback that we get from this and the way that it hopefully prepares people for what God has prepared for them. Coming up next is one of my favorite parts of the show. It's the Ask Dr. Dharius section where I answer questions that have come in from our audience. I want you to stay tuned. Hold on. We'll be right back right here on the Dharius Daniels Podcast. Well, everybody, welcome to the Ask Dr. Dharius section of the Dharius Daniels Podcast, where I answer questions from our audience. Listen, if you've got a question that you want me to answer on this show, you can email that question to podcast@DhariusDaniels.com. Podcast@DhariusDaniels.com. Hey, don't just email questions. Also, send us your feedback. Let us know if this podcast is serving you well. We love to hear from you. Now, listen, we got a few questions that have come in this week. I'm going to toss it over to Dacari first. He's going to get us started.
All right. We got a question from Gina from Alabama. Gina says, if you could get advice from just one historical figure, who would it be? What would the conversation be like?
All right. So
That's a good one, Gina.
yeah. All right. So obviously Jesus, but let's pick somebody besides Jesus. All right. Miles Monroe.
Ooh.
Oh, I love him.
Yep. And the reason I say Miles Monroe is because I feel like I kind of resonate with his ability to be in multiple spaces.
Yeah.
So like he could be in church one day speaking at a church, and then the next day he could be speaking to the British Parliament.
Yeah.
And I really feel like, I don't know, I have an affinity toward him and that kind of flexibility and fluidity to do multiple things. And I feel like he's just such like a thought leader on so many different subjects.
Yeah.
You know how sometimes you go to one person because they're like an expert in this thing?
Yeah.
You go to Miles Monroe, you would go to Miles Monroe about anything, you know? And so we had some differences. Like there are some things theologically I don't agree with him on, but that would be him. And it would just be me asking him questions. That's what conversation would be like, me asking him questions about like, all right, what steps did you take to become who you became?
Yeah.
Like, I want to know what you were reading, who you were listening to, how often, how frequently were you doing it? What system did you have in place to do all the different kinds of things that you do well?
Yeah.
And try to figure out what could I take and apply to my own life. Miles Monroe.
That's good.
Yeah.
I still watch his stuff on YouTube.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's an
It's
OG.
great content. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, well, Lewis wants to know what he said. He's seen your Instagram, and he said that it had been a while since you had been in your therapy, and I think he's talking about your video games.
Oh,
when you
yeah.
put that in. And he said, because you do so much, if you could remove one thing from your daily schedule, what would you remove and why?
Well, I know what I would remove, but I shouldn't remove it. You know what I mean? I know what I would remove, though.
Are you going to tell
Every
us?
day? Is some of my daily schedule? I'll probably remove the working out.
Really?
Yeah. Like,
Okay.
I want to have energy and I want to be focused and I want to be fit. So I do it. And I like the results of doing it, but I don't like doing it. I could do something else with that hour and a half every day.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, hour and a half?
Hour and a half. So I'll probably play more video games or something. I don't even know if I would be doing anything. That probably contradicts everything I just talked about, paying the price. I've been paying the price, people, since I was 16.
Yeah.
But yeah, it would be that. That would be the one thing.
Would you get you a Peloton instead? And
Absolutely not. No Peloton, no biker shorts.
Okay.
No.
So what do you wear when you work out?
Not biker shorts.
That's so funny. So you would remove
I would remove working out. Yeah, that would be the one thing I would remove from my schedule.
Okay. All right.
Guess I got the final question.
Yes, you do.
Final question comes from Big Al from Philly.
All right.
Big Al says,
that sounds like a Philly name too.
Yeah, Big Al says, have you ever dined and dashed at a restaurant? Have you ever dined?
No.
Really?
No, absolutely not.
You're definitely not
Okay,
adventurous.
so here's the first thing.
Are you telling the truth? I thought it's a no cap
1,000%. It's a no cap community, and 1,000% I'm telling the truth.
Okay.
Here's the thing. Y'all have to go. I'm going to do something maybe this year where I get y'all some video of Kilmichael, Mississippi. So once don't email us about this, but once everybody in my circle is vaccinated, so my mom's already vaccinated. My dad's got his first shot. Some people are going to write us and say it's against your constitution. It's your constitutional right to not be vaccinated.
Yeah.
It's your constitutional right.
Yeah.
All right, bro. All right.
Listen, if you guys email us about that, we will bring it to the show.
Yeah, and put your name out there.
And put your name out there. We're going to do it. He's not going to do it, but Dacari and I are definitely going to do it.
But so I'm going to go see my parents.
Okay.
And I want to get some footage of Kilmichael, Mississippi for y'all.
Okay.
Because I want you to see what I'm talking. There was no restaurants.
Oh.
There's no restaurant in my city. You had to get food from a gas station. So you go in, it's a gas station. You go inside the store.
I like gas station.
Right? And then so I'm not hating on gas station food.
I am.
So I'm not hating on gas station food, but this is what I'm saying. Seriously. You go into the store And there's like a little area of the store where they got like burgers, fries, chicken tenders or whatever.
Sausages.
Yeah. So and I'm talking about 7-Eleven. It was no Wawas, no franchise gas stations. Mm-hmm. It was small business, homegrown gas station.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that was the only restaurant in my city. When McDonald's opened up in another city that was like 11 miles from town, that was 11 miles from mine. I grew up in Kilmichael, Mississippi. McDonald's opened up in Winona, Mississippi when I was a senior in high school. You would have thought that Disneyland came.
Are you serious?
That was the only restaurant we had. Yeah. Other than that, we had to go to a place like Shoney's in Grenada, Mississippi.
Buffet.
And
Listen, don't play with it.
And that was with my parents. And then by the time I got to college, I just had, I don't know. College, God is good.
Yeah.
And his grace and mercy.
It endures forever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And we'll just leave that season in that season. Yeah. But no, I haven't dined and dashed.
Wow. But you know what? I'm interested to know, because this is a good question. Dacari, have you ever dined and dashed?
Yeah, several times.
Okay.
Yeah. I was out.
What kind of host do I have on this podcast?
I did.
You know that's stealing, right?
Yeah, it is. And I did it when I was younger. I remember being in Miami on spring break. We had to go TGI Fridays. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
We had to get up out of there. You know what I'm saying? And then also I've done it when they've taken too long. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Look, I really been here like 30 minutes waiting on this bill. It's obvious you don't care if I pay.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? It's like you have no desire to come back over and get this shit.
Wow.
Wow. I'm trying to be successful. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying, and the sacrifice is on you this time.
And that's that on it.
Yeah, but you have too, right? Obviously.
I have. Yeah. I actually have. But I think one instance when I had to do it, it's like, we ain't had the money. So it's like, my mom thought she had everything. She didn't. She was like, all right, y'all, one by one, going to the bathroom.
Yeah.
And just was out. So sometimes people have to do that depending on, you never know the situation. But
the Dharius Daniels Podcast does not condone dining and dashing.
We don't. Dine, but don't dash.
Yeah. She goes to a good steakhouse, maybe. You never had a good one, boy. The best one.
Which one is the best one?
The best. I don't know. You just buying the one in your city.
Find one in your city. Dine and dash. But we didn't tell you to do that. Please don't email us about this, guys. We're just playing.
But maybe. You were serious. Listen, do email us your questions, though. Email them to podcast@DhariusDaniels.com. And listen, who knows? Maybe we're answering your question on the Ask Dr. Dharius section of the Dharius Daniels Podcast. Listen, it's our honor to come to you with this podcast. We're so glad to have you as a part of our family. We want you to stay connected, like, download, share this podcast. We're excited about adding the YouTube element this year for those of you who like to see it visually, so you can check it out on YouTube. But man, spread the word, because we want to help as many people as possible in their faith, in their life, and in their dealings with culture, with these conversations of transformation. Thanks so much for listening, and we'll see you next time on the Dharius Daniels Podcast. Take care.